Welcome back, everybody, to episode 8 of Sonic the World Adventure, Sonic Unleashed Worldwide. I'm joined by my friend David, and today we are bringing to you the next exciting continuation of the debate. So at this point, I think that I have had a stronger opening half of the plan. I don't know how my co-host thinks about that, but in this case, we'll have him continue with the second half of his plan. So after Lex Luthor executes the Indian man.
Okay, yeah. After this, his plan was to continue on torturing Superman, bringing in more people to torture him, and then at some point he will bring the government in.
Question.
I
have a question. So we know when he entered the parallel dimension that Lex Luthor made, that he has an army of monkeys making fake hashtags. This plan makes literally no sense because bot farms have been established as something that is more effective at creating a smear campaign than having literal monkeys type it.
Well, so I think at this point it was just because Lex Luthor is petty, and this is Lex Luthor's character in general. He already does, but he can be petty. Like, hey, one of the prisoners in his parallel universe was his ex-girlfriend, all just because he broke up with him.
Correction, there were multiple ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, there were multiple. That was just the one we knew.
But does that really sound like Lex, though?
Yes, this is exactly Lex.
And what? Okay, you know what? Tell me this. Give me the actual comic run. Which comic book? Give me which number it is and from which series it is. Does Lex Luthor trap ex-girlfriends in a pocket dimension? Please tell me. Which run does he do that in?
I'll give you something better. I'll give you an example where he does something even pettier than this.
So you're dodging the question.
Okay. But no, I don't know what I've seen in the comic. But I'm saying this is what something that it did have in the comic. But something like this is something like this with Duck. He is petty to the bone. And I will explain to you with this one. Let me just find the source for it.
Question: which Lex Luthor? Because this is another issue with comics. That there's many incarnations of the characters.
I don't even know. Okay, but hold on, hang on. I'm trying to find the source for it. Okay, here we go. In Superman Adventure Comics, Volume 2, Issue number 6. I trying to remember which year this was actually.
Okay, I'm at the database. I see it.
Oh, you do?
Yep, characters that appear in Superman Adventures Volume 2, Issue 6. It's called Enemy of the State, correct?
I think so.
Characters that appear are Superman, Jonathan Kent, Jor-El, Mongol, General Lane, General Zod, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, Martha Kent, and Perry White. So what?
And what about Lex Luthor's sister? It's the one with his sister.
I'm asking what Lex did, not his sister.
It's connected.
Okay.
His sister is involved in it, what he does.
Okay. Describe the plan.
Hang on. Adventure Comics, Volume 2, Issue 6. I think it might be the one. But point is, in this comic, Lex Luthor's sister has cancer. It's so bad that she can't even walk. Like, that's how bad it is, that kind of cancer. So you know what he does? He cures her. He literally injects her with a serum he made and cures her cancer. She's able to walk. She's able to be with his daughter. And what does he do next? He straight up gives the cancer back to her immediately. Like, she's been cancer free for like a minute, and then he just gives it back. She can't walk. She can't even talk. Why? Because Lex giveth and Lex taketh away.
But why?
That is straight up his reasoning.
But why?
What do you mean why? I told you why.
Because he given it. These are not good motivations for what should be some of the best characters in fiction.
I told you, he's petty like that.
That's not even remotely the same as building a pocket dimension and trapping your ex-girlfriends. Come on.
I know it's gonna be worse.
I don't know.
This is what I'm trying to say. Lex Luthor's character. Like, yes, he's smart, he's intelligent, he hates Superman, but he is also petty as hell.
Yes.
This is Lex Superman to a T. Lex Luthor to a T. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. So yeah, the whole monkey thing. Yeah, that's also him. He probably trusts monkeys more than AI.
Well, actually, if you know director James Gunn, you'll know that the whole monkey thing saying super shit is actually a dig at the Snyder cultists. It has nothing to do with the movie.
Okay.
So, no, it's not Lex. That's the director being a dickhead.
Okay, fair enough. But anyway, the original plan was with after this he would eventually. Oh, I think that's probably why he wants information on Superman. To give proof to the government, so the government can give him the authorization to kill Superman.
I don't think Lex cares if the government actually gives him the authorization. As far as he could just tell them that he has him in captivity and move on.
Okay, anyways.
And he also has a clone of He also has the clone of Ultraman. So why not have him dress up in the super suit or make one of his own and have that guy pretend to be Superman?
Because Superman himself, because Ultraman can't talk. Ultraman's brain isn't as developed. Superman. He can only obey orders and grunt. He can't talk.
Well, maybe he could just say he broke him.
Ultraman is more stupid than Superman.
Okay. But I mean, Lex could just say that he did some experimentation with kryptonite and it broke Superman's ability to talk, and what's the government going to do? Say no? They don't know that. There's a lot of things that Lex could do.
Lex still, the whole thing is Lex still tries to at least get his fire on with the government so that the people can trust him more, and or make him getting I keep forgetting the name.
Thing is, the people already trust Lex at that point.
Yeah, but he wanted more trust, more. So if something goes wrong, he at least has somebody to cover him.
But what could go
But
wrong
anyway,
at that point if he can already kill Superman?
well, as we see what goes wrong. Superman is able to get Metamorphosis help and escape. He breaks out and such. And
Hold on, how was he able to get Metamorphosis help? Because this is another issue with Lex's plan.
Oh no! Wait, Superman or Lex Luthor?
How was Superman able to get the help of Metamorpho? Because this is an issue of Lex Luthor's plan.
Because Metamorph, as we see after he killed Malik, he does his name right, Malik.
I think so.
After he killed Malik, Metamorpho, he gets sad, he gets emotional. He does this. He did this whole thing just for his son. But after seeing that, he wondered if, as like, pretty sure believable that he would, even for his son, this is too much. His son wouldn't want him to do this. So
now you're intentionally obfuscating information. Because at this point in the movie, Lex does something that I think is really stupid, and that is show Metamorpho where his son is. He puts him right in front of him.
Proof of life. So he knows the son is alive.
First of all, if that was the case, then Metamorpho would have no idea what's going on at that point. First of all, we also know that this is a world where live streaming exists, so why not just stream the footage to him? We know he can do that. We know there is an internet connection because he has the monkeys in there.
Fair enough.
Okay? Furthermore, if we want to keep getting pedantic here, why not just say he's alive, show him the stream that he's alive? Because remember, the reason that Superman even gets Metamorpho to agree with him is because Metamorpho asks him, like, are you really saying you're able to get my son fast enough? Like, from the time I get rid of the kryptonite, create the sun, you break the glass, you rush over there, take out the guy who's holding his son captive, and also take his son. If not for the fact that the baby was there, Metamorpho would have never tried that, and it would have been game over right there. So why did Lex put the baby there? There is no reason.
Well, at this point, well, like I said before, Lex Luthor is petty. But he is also arrogant. At this point, he believes he's already won, so he doesn't think about that.
But he's not. But so you're saying Lex Luthor's stupid?
What just happened there?
Because he's not stupid. Lex, you've even said yourself, Lex Luthor's a very smart character.
I didn't say stupid. I said arrogant.
Yeah, but his arrogance would have led to him committing an act of stupidity, letting everyone know how to get out of it. I don't think Lex Luthor would have ever done that.
Are you kidding me? The guy makes Max do that cover everything but his head because he wants the people further these spines to know who is going to kill him.
But at the same time, Lex Luthor also can create a helmet though. And he has the helmets be retractable.
In some suit, also there's no helmet.
But so what you're saying is that the writers determine how smart Lex Luthor is.
That can be said by any character.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you just say, okay, Lex Luthor, we have to assume he's smart. But when you show him not making the smartest decisions, we have issues here because you're supposed to tell us that this is the smartest guy ever. This is Lex Luthor, and I agree with you. Lex Luthor's a very smart character. Okay, at least when he's written well, he should be a very smart character, and we can both agree on this. But if you're trying to tell me this is the smartest guy ever, why? Why would he put the baby there? It doesn't make sense. Even if you want to say he's petty, just put on a stream that shows the baby there.
When we get back to your to Man of Steel, I'm going to give you hell on this point.
I want you to give me hell on this point.
I'm going to I'm going to soon. Believe me.
But this plan makes no sense. He already won, and if you're trying to tell me he needs the government's approval to kill Superman, well then at that point that's not true because even later in the movie, even after the government realizes Lex Luthor is wrong, he still tries to defeat Superman. So he doesn't care.
Because at this point, his plan did backfire. Superman escaped, and Metamorpho helped him, and okay, here's something that I don't know you're gonna argue with. His next plan to lure out Superman, open the parallel world and bring it to the real world and destroy it.
What benefit does Lex Luthor get from destroying the world if he wants to rule it?
Well, he Metropolis. He literally does it just. His main thing to just to lure Superman out. Because at this point, yeah, you're right. At this point, he doesn't care anymore. He just straight up wants to kill Superman now. And at this point, he already gotta have his other goal. With Superman distracted in Metropolis, he won't be able to help. He won't be able to help the people, and we're all able to take over the country.
Question: if Lex Luthor knows about the Justice Gang, why didn't he do anything about them?
He didn't know about it. Okay, he knew about the Justice Gang. The thing is, he didn't think they would help. He did not think that the
Justice Gang would interfere. That the Justice Gang would interfere in a geopolitical conflict.
Not because it has nothing to do with America.
This isn't the Justice Society of America. This is the Justice Gang. It's a completely different group.
The point is, but the Justice Gang is still held by Lord Corp, a government company in America. They would have no jurisdiction outside.
Please tell me when America has ever given a fuck about that.
If that's the case, then that's the whole point of the interview between Superman and Lois. The whole thing there was because Superman interfered, and people complained about that. People were controversial about that. That was the whole point of the interview.
Well, if that was so controversial, why was Hawkgirl able to kill the dictator Borevia completely scot-free? Nobody said anything.
Because look, no, hey, you're going way too far about that. She does that immediately after Superman calls him to help. But before that, and Lex didn't know that he called them, so he didn't think they would interfere because they don't care about that stuff. They don't like him who just intervened just because. That's why he didn't count on the Justice Gang interfering. Because like politics. They even explained that to Lois.
Oh, you're talking about the whole, oh, my code forbids me from interrupting in politics?
No,
well, he breaks that code.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah, because he was inspired by Superman later. But at that point, he wasn't.
But he still broke his vow to the Lantern Corps.
Oh my God.
So why does he lose his ring?
I'm trying to explain to you why you're missing the point.
What's the point?
He breaks. If you would listen, he breaks his code after Superman inspired him. But at that point, he explained the Lord didn't get involved in politics. He wasn't inspired. Heck, even the Hawkgirl and Mr. Ribbit called the battle thing BS.
Okay.
So he just didn't want to get involved until Superman inspired them. So that's why Lex was counting on them not showing up. He didn't know Superman would have inspired him to come.
So he didn't know that Superman, the beacon of hope that has been active for 3 years, he didn't know that he would be able to inspire a group of people to interfere with people? His ability? How not? Why not?
Because he knows it. He knows Lord Corp. These guys aren't bound by unlike Superman. They are bound by politics and stuff. He didn't think they would interfere in that. Again, they would explain to Lois.
Do they explain that the whole corporation is bound by politics? Because I don't think they do. They just have Green Lantern say, yeah, I don't get involved. And that's about it. Mr. Terrific just says we don't have proof. That's what he says. And Hawkgirl doesn't give a fuck. She's reading the newspaper.
Okay, but... Yeah, point is Lex did not account for them, and so his main plan was like Superman in Metropolis, so Barovia could invade. And he would have invaded, destroyed the country, and he would have taken over. That was his plan, and then he always gonna kill Superman. He was doing Metropolis, but at this point he didn't care about the consequences. He just wanted Superman gone, especially since there was at that point there was no proof connecting him until Eve leaked the information.
Why would he allow someone to publicly broadcast all of those events? His girlfriend.
No.
That's a huge.
She wasn't broadcast. She was just thinking selfies, and he just thought, she's whatever, not like to the post then. And then she brought him over to Jimmy.
But why would he even allow them taking of pictures at that point? Because this is all happening at his HQ. Lex Luthor would not have let this opening slide.
All because he didn't think Eve would be that stupid too.
No, the Eve unleashing the photos is what defeated him.
Oh yeah, but he didn't think Eve was a threat.
But why not plan just in case?
Because like I said, he did not believe Eve was a threat. He didn't make it a plan for her because he thought she was stupid.
But what was the point of having Eve? What was the point? Arrogance?
Again.
No, this is not arrogance. His motivation in this movie is jealousy, not arrogance. What was the point of having Eve there? How does that factor into Lex's master plan?
Oh, just to show off. I don't. Okay, but I'll admit that point is. I'm not explaining why he had Eve other than just girlfriend. Power move. I don't know.
I don't even think Lex gives a shit about that. I'm pretty sure he's just like, yeah, we're about science and defeating Superman. That's basically his MO and businessman.
Different. In the comic, he literally makes a robot little thing just to fuck with Superman.
Yeah, but that's different though. That's to fuck with Superman. That's not because he wants to fuck it.
Fair enough.
But you are right though. That shit was funny as fuck. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So that loose end in the plan doesn't make sense. So Jimmy Olsen getting the plans violates a rule of writing because at that point we're just having the characters lose because they're doing something stupid, and not the good guys winning because they did something smart.
But point is, if it wasn't for that, Lex's plan would have gone off. It wasn't for Eve. It wasn't for Eve leaking the photo. It wasn't for.
And what's worse is Eve leaks the photos because she likes Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, but it wasn't for that. It wasn't for Justice Gang getting involved. He would have won.
He also would have won if he just killed Superman.
But point is, everything, despite the flaws in his plan, it still adds up and makes sense, and it makes far more sense than Eisenberg.
I'm gonna be honest, man. At no point have you contradicted me when we were talking about the Eisenberg plan.
But trust me, I get that. But now it's back to you now.
Okay, fine. We left off at the media painting the Superman as evil as fuck. We have Batfleck now having a clear motivator for why the Man of Steel is a threat and needs to be stopped.
I don't see it clear. I still can't see him taking the word of the media.
He does, because at this point, the media has shown, because he also has the footage from Man of Steel as well, where he is fighting Zod, and he sees how dangerous Superman is, and he already has a bias against Superman, because by this point, Superman has interrupted his deal with the White Portuguese, and the taking of the Kryptonite. He already has seen him interfere with him. Furthermore, he has background information of characters that were once good turning evil. He's lost a Robin, so he's also emotionally, he's also emotionally, but he is a bit unstable. Even Alfred calls him out on it, saying he's cruel now. Because before that, he wasn't as cruel as he is during the movie. And furthermore, he's gotten the visions of the future, where he sees what happens if Superman isn't stopped, and, we see the Omega symbol, Darkseid's here. But, we don't know what that is yet if you don't read comics. Yeah. We just see that he also has these visions given to him by Flash, who was running on the cosmic treadmill.
If that wasn't a clear sign, he's clearly going crazy.
He is going crazy in the freaking movie. That's another thing. But Ben Affleck, hey, Superman makes perfect sense. It really does.
I still can't really see it.
Okay, then what are the issues, and I'll elaborate.
Well, I told you the issues. Him taking the away of the enemy, he saw the guy going in, and then he saw Superman, and then the counter core blow up. I feel like that's kind of a long stretch to make him to believe Superman purposely blew up the courtroom.
Is it, though, considering how much of Metropolis was destroyed in a span of an hour in Man of Steel?
Honestly, yes, because look, as you said, boy, there have been people, at this point, there have been politics, researchers, scientists talking about Superman's goal. But we're also seeing there have been people who know what Superman does and how he acts. So,
and Ben Affleck is not one of those people.
Maybe not, but still, clearly the media's mixed, so...
Wait, who in the media of the movie was actually justifying him? There was one guy who said, maybe he's not some messianic figure or Jesus character. Maybe he's just the guy trying to do the right thing. But that was one opinion who didn't give any concrete statements, because that's the opinion I think you're talking about, right?
One of them.
Okay, but then we have the other ones where the politician is interviewing Senator Finch, and they have the whole, must there be a Superman? And she goes, there is. But what are we talking about here? That one's a bit inconclusive. We have Neil deGrasse Tyson going that there is an alien walking among us. I'm trying to think, outside of the guy who was saying that maybe he's just doing the right thing, and he even says maybe multiple times in that statement. Who in the media was actively batting for Superman other than Clark Kent, his alter ego?
I just still don't quite fully believe that, but at this point, we're staying to one point. Just continue.
Yeah, okay. So by this point, they hate each other. So what does Batman do? He breaks into LexCorp to steal the kryptonite. But lo and behold, this was actually part of Lex's plan. That way, they could explain that he was also a victim of the bombing. Well, at the same time, they didn't know it was a bombing. He's to say the victim of the destruction of the courthouse. And the destruction of the courthouse, that way he gets the suspicion off him from the media. And he also gets another person reasons to hate the Batman, because now people think that the Batman broke into a respectable company like LexCorp and stole a bunch of valuable resources that required an import license to obtain. And even if not the import license, he also might have stolen some confidential resources, because if you know, LexCorp also has access to the remains of the crashed Zod ship, as well as the body of the Kryptonian. Now, the media never actually discovers what was taken, if anything was taken. They just know that Batman broke in, and that's another reason to hate Batman. He just committed theft on, at the time, a still respected businessman, because at this point, Lex Luthor has never acted negatively towards the press or in public at any moment. But that's one thing. Lex Luthor keeps his plan so down low that even Mercy didn't know his whole freaking plan. But here in Superman 2025, you have an entire room of people who know his plan? I don't think so. Lex Luthor's a very secretive motherfucker. Okay, we're talking about comics.
Just people will not only know about the plan, they play along with it. They agree with Lex, apparently.
The point is that Lex is a secretive motherfucker. I don't think he would have divulged the plan, but let's assume he did. Let's assume he does for the sake of argument that this is totally within character. But let's go back to what I was talking about. And now he knows that the Batman has it, so what does he do? He needs to attract Superman so that he can go tell him to fight Batman. So he has his guy, a Portuguese man, kidnap Lois Lane and bring him to the roof, where he will then push Lois Lane off the building so that Superman will get there. But he has a contingency plan, something that the other Lex doesn't really have a lot of. A contingency plan to prevent Superman from just straight up killing him as soon as he sees him. Because he goes, I'll take you without breaking you, which is more than you deserve. Because he also knows that Superman is still a merciful guy. He's still a good guy, although the media doesn't know whether or not he is or isn't. And he shows the pictures, the Martha. And we see her with a freaking, like, the word witch written on her forehead. They have tortured images of her. And Superman goes like, where is she? And he goes, I don't know. I would not let them tell me. Which, by the way, genius, Lex. Actually genius move. Because by saying that, Superman can't even torture you for information. True or false?
True.
Yes. So he tells him, you have 35 minutes to kill the Batman, or Martha's dead. And he goes down to Lois Lane and says, I have to go to Gotham to convince him to help me, or he has to die. Because he's conflicted. He doesn't know. Because at the same time, there's one end of him who believes that the Batman is good, because he believes that the Batman is doing what the Batman thinks is right. However, At the same time, he's had this entire arc where he's been following the Gotham vigilante, and he sees the civil liberties that he's trampling. He saw the Bat brand of justice. He saw the fact that that somebody who works for Bruce Wayne, because remember, Henry Cavill also knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman because he can see through the cowl. Write false god on his statue, so he assumes that Wayne Industries has something against him as well. He's also heard Ben Affleck's statements against him, saying that we have a bit of a run-in with freaks dressed as clowns. And he looked at him dead in the eye, and he smirked when he said that. He smirked at him completely. So he has every motivation to have... He's conflicted. That's why he starts the fight. He goes, Bruce, you were right. Lex has my... But before he could say Lex has my mother, Batman interrupts him with the Sonic fight. Now with the Sonic sounds. Now, we're going to skip this fight because it's not really part of the plan, but we have to admit the fight was awesome, true or false?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Lex Luthor didn't account for this. This is the one thing I'll give him credit for. He genuinely thought that Batman would kill Superman because he knows Batman's exploits. He genuinely believed that Batman was so powerful at his job, he was so good at his job, that he would straight up murder this Superman. And I say murder because at this point, Batman has been pushed into killing people. Because Batman did have a no-kill code at one point, but after the death of Robin, after seeing the shit that went down in Man of Steel, he has dropped the no-kill code. So he truly believed that Ben Affleck would kill the Superman. And technically, he would have, if not for Lois Lane showing up.
Martha.
It was his mother's name. Well, yeah, because the mothers have the same name. We'll continue in the next episode, guys.